What's up, everyone? We are back for another Who Are They Real Talk. Once again, I am Matt, and joining me is the co-founder of this entire channel, and that is none other than Nick Mulbach. How you
Real
doing, buddy?
talk? That's
Yeah.
weird. No, I'm just kidding. Hi, everybody. How's it going? I am not in my usual surroundings as I am, uh, I'll just say house sitting.
Yeah.
There might be a cat that interrupts the stream every once in a while. I just had some of his hair in my face and I am thriving. Uh, yeah, glad to be on and glad to be here. Things have been a little busy on my end. So it has been few and far between in the times that I've been able to kind of join in, but uh, things are looking back to being up for me being on the channel again now. So I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, and we were like enjoying our weeks, gotta do them. We're like, oh wait, the Oscars are tomorrow, and we haven't touched on them at
Well,
all.
by these standards, they're today, right? I mean, there's no way that
Yeah,
this video doesn't.
by these standards, it's pre-recorded. It is what it is. But
I was gonna say, there's no way that this video gets released uh, without it being, during the Oscars or something like
No,
that. I don't know.
it's dropping at 6 p.m. tomorrow or 6 p.m. today. Hey, um,
Yeah, you got to make sure
because
that
we're
you
live
do
now.
this math right.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, oh yeah, quick turnover. Let's get to it. But no,
Hmm.
before we get started, for those of you who don't know, the past few years before the pandemic, Nick and I,
Sorry,
why?
I haven't had the chance to say that in a while, and
Yeah,
you are the plug master. So,
uh, but the past few years before the pandemic, Nick and I had been going and doing press coverage of Wizard World Cleveland Comic Con. Sadly, Wizard World Cleveland Comic Con no longer exists, but in its place, because this company has bought the rights to that convention, is Fan Expo Cleveland. As you can see, formerly Wizard World Comic Con, and we're hoping to be covering them this year. We got a ton of great ideas and whatnot, and we just wanted to give it a little promotion real quick. The dates are April 29th to May 1st. Tickets start at $37 for adults and vary depending on the day, and tickets are $12 for kids. If you want to buy your tickets before April 18th or 14th, however, you can get your tickets at discounted prices. And below, you see all these various characters and whatnot, whether it's Vegeta, Fry, Crowley from Supernatural, Jay and Silent Bob, Bo-Katan, etc. All of those talents, whether it's a voice talent or actor talent, will be at Fan Expo Cleveland. I'm really excited for what they're doing. This already, as much as I've loved Wizard World Comic Con, this has been a major improvement to what this used to be. So, but yeah, let's move on and talk about something that we should open up with, and that's Nick and I aren't happy with the Academy this year.
neither is John
Um,
John, apparently. Yeah.
Nick, go ahead and
Yeah.
tell him why.
Well, here's the thing: as a person who makes videos and a person who makes film, they have decided to gut like all the special awards. They basically listen. At the end of the day, I was debating as to whether I even wanted to support this because, I just feel as though the Oscars have turned into celebrity fanfare the entire time. There really is. I mean, it is going to be a ridiculous cesspool of political jokes and blah 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 blah, and actors. And it's become more about the talent than it has the actual people who are working behind the scenes. See, yeah, John, John, who are working behind the scenes on productions and all kinds of stuff, and that just bothers me. And like, not showing. Um, this was something I was going to get into on Twitter, and then I'm just like, nobody's going to give a shit. So I'll say it here. The fact that they're not talking about short film on the actual telecast bugs me because I feel like it's a dying art. There's a lot of filmmakers out there, just a lot of people within our community, even in Cleveland, who think that jumping straight into a feature film is easy, and for some it works. For some, it doesn't work for everybody, and that's where short films can come into play. And you know, seeing where these big, I literally own a DVD that's just loaded with Scorsese short films from Criterion. It's like, people make them for a reason. It helps with skills, it helps for short-term storytelling, and to me personally, this is just going to inspire younger filmmakers to not go that route when they aren't necessarily ready. I mean, that's, a little bit of an impact. Or um I think this whole experience this year, which has just been a mess already, in my opinion. Um, Hell, with the amount of films that they're acknowledging in the Best Picture category this year, there's just so many. Um, and even so, Dune gets Little Women, where the director doesn't get nominated, even though it got a nomination in every other category. I'm just going on and on my rant about how the Oscars just don't make any sense to me anymore.
I was more so talking about the snubbed categories than anything else, and then we were going to get into snubs.
But the snubbed categories have something to do with that, because it's just like, as a filmmaker, we want to see representation.
Yeah, and I agree. And my thing is, like, people are like, oh, they're still being televised. I'm like, yeah, they're doing them before the show, and they weren't going to get the recognition they rightfully deserve. They're just going to be rebroadcasted. Like this team won won for this. This team won for this. This team won for this. Yeah, I don't care. I want to see that live. I like them getting that recognition. Like, that's just me personally. I like the recognition that makeup gets, and sound design and editing and things like that, because it just shows you how important each and every facet of this is. And if you're gonna redo, or if you're gonna show them actually accepting the awards and they don't get their speech, then what's the point? They deserve that moment just like everyone else who's going to be up on that stage that night. So it's frustrating to me from that standpoint, and I just
And yeah, I mean, there are so many people. Here's the deal: a filmmaker isn't necessarily the prettiest thing to be telling somebody unless you can be successful. There's a lot of people who won't even acknowledge your success until there's a financial backing to it, or an award backing to it. And even if so, most of the awards that you're going to win aren't even going to be important, and that pale in comparison to an Oscar. If you can't even prove your moment, that doesn't really help a lot of those people who said that somebody was never going to make it. I don't think that those justifications mean anything, and they're not important, and quite frankly are BS, in my opinion. I think your success just comes from what you believe it is. On the other hand, it's just, I could go on and on and on and on about this for hours that we don't have. I'm very passionate about recognizing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Because there's someone in Cleveland who I know is a part of the Academy. He was offered to join last year, right after the awards, and he's a sound guy. And I got to know him during work. He and I would talk about movies, Star Wars, what we've seen lately. And I know he travels the country nonstop just to do their work. He did the sound for Judas and the Black Messiah. Mm-hmm. And he does fantastic work. And if Judas had won last year, we would have seen him get an award. And it's like, I don't know how I'd feel if it's like that moment's there, and I could have been like, hey, I knew that guy. But if it was this year's Oscars, it's like, my buddy technically won an Oscar. We just didn't get to celebrate it like everyone else.
Exactly. I think that it's just celebration of it, because people can say what awards mean to them, and like I said, I think that the awards mean more to the people who are winning them. The recognition means more, or the recognition means more than the award means. You
I
know what I
agree.
mean? And I
The
think that
award just
that's
helps you get more jobs, in my opinion, but you still get
and it definitely
yeah.
does. But I just mean it from a standpoint, a perspective of like people in general. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? It's just,
Especially when you cut out cinematography, dude. Like, come on! People love the cinematography award, and we're not going to be able to like. Imagine if the Batman, is nominated for cinematography next year,
mm,
which let's be honest, it probably will be, and we don't get to celebrate that.
yeah,
Come on!
it's it's sad.
Especially when the same cinematographer is the one behind Dune, and his work is just phenomenal. But
Yeah, no
I
doubt about it.
digress. I
I
digress.
yeah, yeah.
Well, before we talk about some of the award nominations, let's talk about the snubs. I had to start off with these two because I know Nick agrees. Mike Feist, Rachel Zegler, followed by Peter Dinklage, Denis Villeneuve,
Dennis
Bradley
Villanueva
Bradley Cooper. In
for
my
what?
opinion, Licorice Pizza. A lot of people felt that he should have been nominated for supporting for that small amount.
Fair.
Uh, Guns Go Bang, in my opinion, that should have been nominated for Best Song. For those of you who don't know what that is the opening credit song for The Harder They Fall, which is also on this list. And then let's close it out with Tony Kushner for his adaptation of West Side Story, and Nicolas Cage
For Nicolas Cage.
or for Pig.
Oh, right. Forgot that movie hasn't probably been in consideration yet, but dude's playing the hell out of himself. Probably,
Yeah,
I would imagine.
yeah, we'll find out in a couple weeks. Um, but no, I was just. I know you and I were both more upset than anything about the Feist snub.
Uh, I think that I was more confused by the Zegler snub than
I was
anything
confused by
else.
this. I was more confused by the Zegler snub. Yeah,
I
especially.
think that, I mean, listen, I love Mike Weiss. I didn't know he even existed until West Side Story, and I wish I did my entire life because the dude is just a gorgeous human being. But I don't know. They there's one pick that they need to get right, and we all know what it is, and we'll get into it later. But it's just like, why did Zegler, who carried the film, Ansel had nothing to do with that movie. It was pretty much all the women of the film, and I thought Mike Feist definitely deserves that nomination. But Zegler, I pretty much thought Zegler was locked to
Yeah.
win, let alone be nominated.
So I guess my thing is like I saw Being the Ricardos. I didn't feel anyone from that movie should have been nominated outside of Nicole Kidman, and even then, I didn't feel like she was better than some of the other people who were nominated, who weren't nominated. I mean, excuse me. But that's just me because like uh, I'm there's like two or three other people I put in there before Nicole Kidman, and Rachel Zegler is one of them.
Mm.
Uh, I was glad Kristen Stewart got nominated. She hasn't really been nominated for anything else, which is if she wins tomorrow or tonight, I will be so happy because that's the one of the few roles I've been like championing, whatever you want to call it.
Mm.
Um, it's looking like Jessica Chastain may win, which I'm fine with. I guess it's
I
better
thought she
than
did fine. I mean, that's just it's
it,
it's a
the movie.
tough,
The movie wasn't great. Like it was just fine. That was
a
my
great
thing.
performance by your standards can come out of a not great movie.
Joker.
Take Yeah, that's well. Listen, I'm not. That's your opinion that it's
I
not a
know.
good movie, but like a great performance can come
I
out
didn't
of
say it's
what?
not a good movie. I just said it's a mediocre movie.
Okay, well, okay, sorry. A great performance can come out of a mediocre film. A great performance can drive a mediocre film.
Yes,
Oh,
it can.
hello, John. John.
Just like Nicole Kidman in Being the Ricardos, a
Yeah.
mediocre film that's driven by her performance. Then you have a film like Spencer, which is not a mediocre film, and she's driving it with her performance. And I love how she's basically won every single award up until the last couple months. The BAFTA, she wasn't even nominated. Like, people were starting to be worried she wouldn't even get nominated for the SAG, or excuse me, the Oscars, because she didn't get the SAG nomination, she didn't get a BAFTA nomination, and that makes up a lot of the Academy. So it's like, huh.
I still think that she has a good chance of winning it. That's just me.
I hope so. You got to say Olivia Colman being nominated for Best Actress is just showing how great of an actress she.
Yeah, I mean, she's
been nominated basically like almost every year since
she's
The Favorite.
becoming Frances McDermott. I mean, if Frances, well, I guess not necessarily this year, but if Frances McDermott is acting in something that 90% of the time she is probably going to win it.
So I'm overall, if you swap out Nicole Kidman for like Jennifer Hudson as Aretha Franklin, I'm happy. I could live with all that. Chastain, I think, will win. I personally want Stewart. I don't know how you feel. I also wouldn't mind if Zegler was there.
I can see why Chastain would win. I think that the performance was good. The whole movie is just odd as a whole, but I really do think that she did a good job with what she was given. I think you play a character like Lucille Ball, and you're always going to be considered for something like that. But I think Spencer's good. I think that Kristen Stewart is good. What a year for Twilight actors.
Yeah.
And I hope for the best with it. I don't think that she's going to win it just because she hasn't really been. I was surprised that she got nominated.
So was I. It was the happiest surprise of my life.
Not from a performance standpoint, just surprised with how little she was. I listen, like I said, I had Zegler winning it from literally the time that I like.
So a sad story.
Yeah.
It was first thing you said out of that film. You're
because,
like, just for context, I took Nick to see West Side Story, and the first two things out of his mouth were Mike Feist, Rachel Zegler. Wow.
Well, it's just that I don't know. I was hearing all about how before the movie comes out that she's like a shoo-in to win it, not even just yet nominated. Then she starts to win all these awards, and then she doesn't get nominated. I was just like, huh.
Like,
presenter it is.
Just remember, she wasn't even a presenter until a couple of days ago. Wasn't even invited to the ceremony until a couple of days ago. So
hopefully she'll take Mike Feist with her, and I'll just be able to glare at that beautiful jawline.
I mean, she went to the BAFTAs with him.
Oh, I know. I saw.
But no, when it comes to supporting actor, why is J.K. Simmons there? I'm not gonna poo-poo on The Power of the Dog because I personally couldn't get through it. I've on 5 separate occasions tried to watch that, and it's not for me. It just isn't. So I'm not gonna poo-poo it. Kieran Hines for Belfast, I'm all for. Cool. But I would have liked to see Feist there. But my man Troy Kotcher's got this in the bag, and I'm not even upset about it. I was late to the Coda train, and
it's good.
You finally watched it?
I did. It's a great film. What?
When? I'm curious.
Oh, God. Dude, every single fucking day of every hour of my life blends together, let alone days of the week. I don't know. At some point I watched it. At some point it's on Apple TV Plus, if you have, or Apple TV or Apple streaming. If you have time within the next 60 seconds to watch it before you watch the Oscars, please watch this film. It's great.
That film moved me, and I was just like, all right. I was fortunate for that movie, for my first experience for that movie, to be in the theaters. They did special screenings back in February, and our reps over in Cleveland, I'm not going to say what company it's with. They were like, hey, they're doing weekend screenings this week. Do any of these fit your time? You want to go see it? And it's like, you know what? It's nominated. I missed my chance to review it. I'm gonna give this a chance. I prefer to see movies on the big screen, anyways, and I was not disappointed. I cried for the last half hour, and then I saw it again the next day and cried more, and took Jennifer with me. So, and she cried a lot. That movie like completely shook up my top 10 of 2021 list. But it was just, it's a beautiful film, and I would love to see Troy Kotsur. He'd only be the second deaf performer to win the Academy Award, correct?
And it would be his co-star who
Who won
would
the
be,
first?
yeah. I mean, I think he has a good chance. I'd
He's
like
won
to see
every
it
award
myself.
basically the last couple of weeks. He's
Yeah,
won the BAFTA. He won the SAG, the group, and we'll get into this when we talk about Best Picture. The group as itself won Best Ensemble at the SAG, and the last film to do that and win other stuff won Best Picture. So slight fingers crossed there. But no, I mean,
I wonder what your pick is.
no, it's actually not my pick. But yeah, I'm hopeful. There's two movies that I are backing my horse on, that I'm riding my horse on, and that's definitely one of
Backing
them.
your horse on.
Whatever
I
you
was
want
gonna
to
say,
call
what
it.
the hell are you doing?
But no, my other snubs I brought up. The biggest two to me were Guns Go or Peter Dinklage and actors, because even though there's no way in hell he'd win compared to Will Smith, who's the favorite, or Andrew Garfield for Tick Tick Boom, who's arguably favorite 1B and Will Smith's favorite 1A. Um, I'm a little disappointed because, like, Dinklage, I don't know if you checked out Cyrano.
I haven't had a chance yet. No.
That movie, the movie's pretty good. It's not great, but it's pretty good, and his performance is amazing. And I learned Peter Dinklage could sing, which shocked the hell out of me. But I definitely put him in there over Javier Bardem. You can't really take out Denzel. It's Denzel.
Fair.
But and you can't take out Benedict Cumberbatch. I'm not going to poop out of the dog. Like I said, still couldn't finish. Still, after 5 tries, cannot finish it. So it is what it is.
I'd say he's a dark horse, though. I could see
Yes,
him
without a doubt.
sneak it in there.
And that's why I'm not going to poo it, because he's very capable of winning that. And it would be awesome to see Benedict Cumberbatch win another award. But to me, my biggest snubs, and I don't know if Nick's finally seen this movie, The Harder They Fall, and the song that goes with the Guns Go Bang, which was Kid Cudi and Jay-Z. I would have loved to see this film get some love. It is one of my favorites of the year. It is unapologetically black and fun. Like, how come we can't get fun, well thought out movies anymore? We just get sad movies getting nominations. Like Coda is a movie that is a happy movie that got nominations. But like there's not a lot of happy movies getting nominations. There's just a lot of sad movies. And there's one that's not so sad but has a lot of controversy surrounding it that I know both you and I love, and we'll talk about that in just a few moments. But yeah, I mean, we don't get happy, we don't get comic book movie. Like, come on. Oh yeah, backtracking a little bit. How the hell do you have time for a fan favorite award to give out, but you don't have time for the other? Not
because fan favorite is an award to get people to watch. That's what it is. That's all it is. If fan favorite is a bunch of bullshit that backfired on them completely, by the way, because I'm pretty sure that Camila Cabello's Cinderella is the movie that's leading.
Top 5. It's no longer leading.
Well, Spider-Man.
I don't know what Spider-Man is, but
because that's the thing. It's just like it's stupid.
Yeah,
that's not what we wanted. We just wanted a movie.
I'm just glad the Snyder fanboys can keep crying because Snyder Cut isn't eligible for it, and they're like, "Oh, we would have won." Yeah, no one cares.
Okay, but that's besides the point. That jackass is going to keep tweeting shit out from his universe and get more of his people all stirred up, and it's just never going to end.
That's why I don't like him.
My point that I'm making is what we wanted was what was a, as it represented by your hoodie, a well put together film that had a great beginning, middle, and end, that was fun, had plenty of emotionally raw scenes in Spider-Man, get nominated for an Oscar, because why not? Black Panther got nominated for an Oscar, and I understand that that is in a league of its own on impact, but it's just like, what's the point? This doesn't make any sense to me.
No, it really doesn't. And
There's I could literally name one movie already at the top of my head, A Nightmare Alley, that could be just booted from that list of Best Picture nominations.
oh, you didn't like Nightmare Alley either?
Not really. I mean, well, no, it's fine, but it didn't need to be nominated for Best Picture.
See, I was just not a fan of that movie at all. So I was just like, yeah.
I'm over it being like, as I'm over that aspect of it. I'm just not. I just don't think that it should have been nominated for an Oscar.
That's fine. I can agree with you on that sentiment because I don't think it should have been nominated either. I know I'm a big Guillermo fan. That one just not for me. I'm sad to say that, but it is what it is, and it sucks. But we survive. I guess that's the best. I just I know a lot of people love that. I'm happy for them. Good for you guys. Not my cup of tea, sadly. And I wanted it to be so bad, so much. But without further ado, let's talk about the Best Picture nominees. We got West Side Story, Drive My Car, Nightmare Alley, Don't Look Up, Dune, Licorice Pizza, Belfast, Coda, King Richard, and The Power of the Dog.
Ugh. Did they get rid of all these categories because they have to do freaking, how many is it? Fucking
10.
13 segments on all these movies? Like, oh, Lord in heaven.
See, but they could be like last year where they cover them all at once.
I just think that less is more in that category of things. I think it's good to acknowledge films, but like when you when you're just becoming, you're just grouping them all together. Like you're the Golden Globes don't mean anything. And those movies are all separated by two bullshit categories because they want to get more movies in to be acknowledged by throwing, The Martian and Best Comedy Musical. So, in my opinion, this just seems like this just seems like an incredibly bloated list.
I can understand
Where
that.
Nightmare Alley, Don't Look Up, even
I
Licorice Pizza, as much as I
I can
love Licorice Pizza.
I can say I have not seen I guess technically four of these films. I tried to watch one of them, but
And listen, I haven't seen them all either, so I'm not going to act like these movies weren't the top-notch movies of the year.
right.
I'm just saying that it seems like it's a lot.
I think that Nightmare Alley is in there simply because of who directed it.
And I like Don't Look Up. Don't get me wrong. I just don't think that it
That's one of
needed
the
to
ones
be
I
nominated.
haven't seen. You can speak on that one more than me.
It just doesn't need to be nominated for an Oscar. Neither does Licorice Pizza. I love Licorice Pizza, but it's just like,
Man, I'm shocked Licorice Pizza got nominated. It was in my top 10. Wouldn't have nominated it,
I
especially with those two highly questionable scenes.
I agree. I just don't think that. I mean, I will watch it over and over again. Uh, yeah, I don't know.
All I gotta say is, as much as I like Licorice Pizza, it's a different type of movie when it sets off my father, who is, as Nick can attest, one of the most professional people you can get in those screenings. And he's just like, he says, he lets out an expletive mid screening because he can't believe they just did what they did in a scene.
Yeah, it doesn't feel necessary,
No,
but
not at all.
and obviously, knowing the Oscars, that will be the clip that they show from the film.
Oh, God.
But I just, I don't know. I don't know. I'm not. I'm not looking forward to watching it. I'm not gonna lie, just because it feels really jumbled and really thrown together. It feels like WrestleMania this year. There's no friggin' plan for it whatsoever.
Yeah, I mean, like if I'm being honest, the two films I'm backing are West Side Story and Coda. King Richard I loved. Uh Licorice Pizza I really enjoyed. Dune I really really love. Um but this is the first year I can't really pinpoint more than 3 movies that I think are worthy. Like Dune, coolest nominated. Didn't think it was best picture material. Just
No.
being honest. The two I felt are best picture materials. One, my favorite movie of last year, which is West Side Story, which I have said this movie deserves to win the Oscar ever since I saw it. And uh Coda. Like,
Coda's more my style.
yeah, Coda I understand
So
is more your style.
I would say yes to that. West Side Story, listen, I get it. It's great. It just I don't know. I think that Coda resonates more. I just that's my personal pick.
No, I can say that this Coda resonated with me as a human being more,
Mm.
but West Side Story from a filmmaking perspective resonated with me
Uh
more.
yes, yeah, I there's
Here's
things
my
I
thing.
take away from it. There's things that I don't take away from
Yeah.
it. Yeah, that's my biggest thing.
So here, one of the first movies I ever saw, in the Cleveland Playhouse Square, Cinema at the Square, something Cleveland Playhouse Square does every summer. They show old classic movies. Um, my parents took me to see West Side Story, one of the first movie musicals I ever saw on a big screen.
Well, then, okay, here's what I'll ask you. Are you seeing this more from a sentimental, are you saying this more from a sentimental standpoint, or are you saying
No,
this more from a film
no, and I'm,
standpoint?
I'm I'm getting to that.
Okay.
Um, to me, I did not think, and as much as I love Spielberg, you know our buddy Lou, he was like, I can't refuse to watch it. I love the first one too much. I love the first one a lot too. I didn't think Spielberg could top it, but he did with some smart decisions.
Mm.
And to me, the original West Side Story was in like my top 10, top 15 films of all time. So to improve on it, a task that shouldn't even really be able to be done is amazing to me.
Mm.
So with that alone, it's like,
And I don't know if I have that much sentimental um, feelings towards the first one. I mean, to me, the first one was a bunch of white people pretending to be.
and see that's kind of like he did
And
it with,
why? Yeah, I mean, yes, this movie does that better, but I mean,
but he shows
just
the
because it
hate
did the
between the
right
two
thing,
groups
does that
better.
mean that it's
It's not just doing the right thing; it's showing the hate between the two groups better.
Oh,
Where,
yeah. I'm not
uh,
denying that at all. I'm just making a point that,
yeah,
like, to me personally, it's just like because it did what it should have done and did it well, does that mean that it's best picture? I get why you would say that it should be best picture. I think that, like, from a from a non-applicable award standpoint of anything, that could be plugged in anywhere, but I'm going to plug it in for like the set dressing. It deserves every single award that in the costumes. Oh wait, sorry, non-applicable award. It deserves all the awards. I mean, even from the cinematography,
the
non-applicable award.
cinematography is gorgeous.
No. We're talking about the non-applicable awards. The cinematography was great. The non-applicable award was great. Editing. I mean, listen, and the sound mixing non-applicable award was really good too because it had to be for a musical, and even the sound engineering non-applicable award was really good. So, I mean, listen, from a technical standpoint, which doesn't even fucking matter anymore. I mean, at this point, freaking Norm of the North 3 could be nominated for an Oscar and win it because none of this crap matters anymore. Sorry, I still just don't like this at all.
I get that. No, and see, like you nailed you nailed a lot. The one the one award this film better win that is an applicable award is Best Supporting Actress.
Oh, right. Sorry, we forgot the celebrities are better. Yeah, I mean, hopefully, and I do think that she deserved it.
Yeah,
I think
Ariana
that
DeBose was just amazing.
Ariana DeBose was fan-freaking-tastic in this movie. I mean, and I don't know. I mean, at this point, Jackass Forever is going to be nominated for Oscar because, like I said, none of it matters. Ugh. Just throw Bruce Willis in some whatever wins Best Razzie should also win Best Picture this year. That's what it should be. If none of the awards are going to be applicable.
Interesting take. I mean,
Hey, here's what I'll ask you, Matthew. Is if a tree falls in the forest and nobody's around to hear it, did it fall? If a person wins an Oscar for Best Cinematography and nobody's there to see it, did they really win a Best Oscar for Best Cinematography? That right there, Mr. Oscar, is why I think your award show is a bunch of horse shit that I'll probably end up watching still tomorrow.
Nick, this is why I love you, bud, because we feel the same way. I'm just willing to be more diplomatic.
As a person who works on film, I see it completely from a standpoint of a person who respects film as much as you do. It's just bothersome to me that so much more goes into it. And this isn't me knocking acting talent at all, because a lot of that makes the movie. I can go on and on and on and on and on about all the people who I've been lucky enough to work with, but it takes a. I'll take our last 48 hours that we did when we were incredibly lucky enough to win best line or best use of line for the project, right? And this was for a 48-hour competition, but I'll resonate it with how a team makes for the project, because in that project it took the team to make the line be portrayed the way that it was. It wasn't just an actor, it wasn't just an editor, it wasn't just it was a group of people working together to and that personally to me feels more fulfilling than what the Oscars are doing right now, because you're acknowledging something as a team, or that there's more than one job on set other than what they're acknowledging. Stupid.
That's why part of me slightly has been respecting the BAFTAs a little bit more, and the spirit. I've always respected spirits.
I freaking love it. They picked the correct best picture for this year, anyways. But
what'd they pick this year? Dead Silence.
The Lost Daughter with Maggie Gyllenhaal.
Yeah. Okay. Which has Oscar nominees in it.
Yeah. Just saying. Bah humbug. That's what I guess
not. My thing is,
your boy Troy won Best Supporting Actor. Friggin' Maggie Gyllenhaal wins Best Director.
Which I don't
Pig
even know
wins Best First Screenplay.
Gyllenhaal didn't get nominated. Which, by the way, Jane Campion.
Simon Rex wins Best Lead Actor. There you go. That's already why the Oscars are bullshit.
Okay, no, Simon Rex. I watched Red Rocket. His performance didn't hold a candle to any of the. Okay, actually, no. I would put him in there above Javier Bardem, maybe Denzel, but there's still a couple other people I have before Simon Rex.
Simon Rex.
But there was no way he would have won it, even if he was nominated.
Well, still acknowledge. I don't know. Whatever.
I mean, it's frustrating. It really is, and I mean, there's realistically 4 or 5 pictures up here I care about, and that sucks. And because I know in the past, you and I have been able to talk about 3, 4, 5 films that we're excited about for Best Picture, or even performances. And this year, if anything, it seems kind of telegraphed who might win. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? Like the last few years, there's so many good performances. You like this one. This one, like when stuff's sweeping, you know what's gonna happen.
Right. Yeah.
Like Will Smith sweeping Best Actor for the most part. You know what's gonna happen. Uh, Troy Kotcher sweeping Best Supporting Actor. You know what's gonna happen.
Mhm.
Best Picture will be interesting to see what happens, because I think that one is truly a question mark. I think Chastain's going to win tomorrow. Would not be shocked if Stewart or Coleman do surprise uh, the audiences and win. Ariana DeBose, another one. She's won basically Best Supporting Actress every award show.
Exactly.
Telegraphed it all. Like animated feature film, that'll be interesting, because I know it's basically Mitchell versus the Mitchells versus the Machines. Shout out to Kiwi Jess, who keeps telling me to watch that film and I haven't. And Encanto, which I have loved, and its soundtrack slaps. Lin-Manuel's the best. But like, so you're telling me there's realistically 3 categories we'll end up seeing that are gonna be interesting, and that's Best Picture, Best Director, although that one seems like it's a bit telegraphed because Jane Campion's been winning everything, and Best Animated Feature.
Mhm.
Like that's to say realistically.
Yeah.
So hey, it sucks. I normally like having more fun with it, but it seems very telegraphed this year. I hope there's some shocks. But yeah, this episode made me more sad than anything.
I mean, listen, don't let it be sad. Here's what I will say is don't let an award show designate what is good film. There's great
Oh
film
yeah,
out there being made by people every single day, just in general. Download it, listen. And I'm not trying to say this because go on to like a Tubi or an Amazon Prime and look for a film that you would have never ever watched in your entire life. Give that some love because it might never get acknowledged for an Oscar or something like that. But that doesn't mean that it's not worth it as a film.
yeah, that's fair. No, I guess the only reason I was saying it was making me sad is because I'm like, ah, damn, it made me realize how much this one feels so telegraphed that I'm not actually looking forward to it anymore. To be honest, maybe that's why I forgot it tonight, because you feel like you know what's gonna win.
Well, it was also that and the fact that like Amy Schumer is hosting it. So like
Yeah,
I
if it
don't
was
hate
just
Wanda Sykes, but I'm like, where the hell did they pull her out from?
Regina King and Wanda Sykes, or Regina Hall and Wanda Sykes, would have been happy. But no, I don't need any Amy Schumer in my life. But with that, that was our little Oscar preview. I hope you all enjoy the night. We went on that rant on how the smaller films should have been, or smaller categories deserve to be recognized. Uh, Real quick, my prediction for that is, I think Janusz Kaminski should win for West Side Story, but I do think Greg Fraser's going to win. If I'm going based off of costumes, I believe that Cruella, which is Jenny Beavan, should win. Second place would be Dune, and then followed by West Side Story. Um, I don't know anything about the documentaries this year, so I can't really say anything. Maybe so. Actually, no, I know one documentary, so I'll just ride with it. Summer of Soul, directed by Questlove. That
Yes,
should, um,
that's a great film.
yes, it is. Uh, Editing should go to Tick Tick Boom. That was just so smartly and beautifully edited. Um, The Worst Person in the World should win international film, but I wouldn't be shocked if Drive My Car
It's
wins.
gonna be Drive My Car.
Yeah, probably. Makeup and hairstyling. I do not know why House of Gucci is nominated in this. That movie was a long pile of dung.
That doesn't mean that the makeup and hairstyling is bad, and it's really freaking good in that film.
I disagree. Because I hated the makeup and hairstyling in that movie. I think Cruella wins out here. Eyes of Tammy Faye could win, but it would be awesome to see Coming to America shock the world. Original score. I don't know if that's going to Encanto or Dune, but it's one of those. I know you love Nicholas Britell. He did Don't Look Up this year.
Yep.
For original song,
give my boy his Oscar.
For original song, I think Dos Ogruti or Gitas is going to win from Encanto, but I would love to see Billie Eilish complete the suite for No Time to Die because I love that song, and people have just forgotten about it because it came out basically a year and a half before we got that movie.
Whoops.
Yep. So yeah, and production design. Here, this is where I will give Nightmare Alley some love. This is where I will give Nightmare Alley some love. It definitely deserved to be nominated.
But West Side Story is going to win.
I think West Side Story wins, but Dune could also win here. Sound deserves to go to Dune. As much as I love West Side Story, that should go to Dune. Special effects between Dune, Free Guy, No Time to Die, Shang-Chi, and Spider-Man No Way Home. I kind of got to give it to Dune again. Shang-Chi's a close second. Spider-Man, I want to give him a little bit of love because they did a heck of a job de-aging Alfred Molina and our boy Willem Dafoe. Writing adapted screenplay, I think Coda deserves to win this, but I wouldn't be shocked if Dune or Drive My Car win it. Original screenplay deserves to go to Licorice Pizza, Worst Person in the World, or King Richard.
Yeah.
But
listen, like I said,
Kenneth Branagh has love for like a semi-biographical film.
At the end of the day, they want to. I don't know. It just feels very discouraging. Can't wait to. I mean, listen, like I said, just watch these films.
Yeah.
I did complain about how big this list is, but at the end of the day, watch these films. Acknowledge these films. Love these films. Boom. The Oscars should just be a telecast of all the great movies of the year and just screen them, and on the bottom in a ticker, it just says, I don't know, I was going to type in balls on a ticker and play it at the bottom of the screen, but that's where you get all of your award wins and stuff like that at the bottom of the screen. I don't know. I love film. Just watch film, love film. I don't know. The Oscars, when Bohemian Rhapsody won Best Editing, I knew I could never trust the Oscars ever again. So, bada boom.
Yeah. But with that, this was another Real Talk. Once again, remember, Fan Expo coming to Cleveland April 29th to May 1st for those of our listeners in the Cleveland area or close by. Come travel, enjoy the city a bit, see these celebrities you want to see. And remember all the fun stuff we got going over here at Walt Real Entertainment. Remember to like, subscribe, follow, all that fun stuff. And we will see you next time. Peace.